Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Where today we're going to be talking books. It is my March reading wrap-up. Once a month I like to do a review of what I read in that month, maybe what I started to read, didn't finish, and what I am currently reading. This March, I can't believe we're at the end of March, by the way, but I'm sure everybody feels that way in saying that. This month was the month of the DNF for me, which means did not finish. And not finishing a book, there is sometimes, even though I'm okay with it, there's still that anguish about it. There's still that feeling of upset, like, oh, am I really giving up? Nobody likes to do that. I don't think people start books just so they cannot finish them. So the reason I did it is, one, you know, I just really wasn't feeling things, and two, a lot of my books I rent from the library on ebook, and you only have a 2-week window. Some of them are holds, which means other people are waiting for them. So I just felt if I'm not looking forward to read this, I need to let it go. So let's take a look at some of the books I read and some of the ones I DNF'd. The first book that I did finish in March was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, which is book 2 in the Mortal Instruments series. This is a book that I rented a physical copy from the library, and I finished it on a little weekend vacation. I was able to kind of sit outside on a patio with nothing but trees surrounding me. So it was the ideal setting for reading. And as I mentioned when I spoke about reading the first book, City of Bones, I really liked the parts of that book with Luke, and Luke was very present and prevalent in this second book. So I did enjoy it, and I think I'm gonna keep continuing with it. It's not something where I'm on the edge of my seat in anticipation for it, but I do find them just kind of like a harmless, fun read, and I plan on continuing with the series for as much and as far as I can, because I know that series kind of goes in a lot of places and a lot of directions, but I had a good time with it. Now we'll get into my first did not finish for March. And what do we got? What do we got? We got, I'm consulting the Kindle, and the first one was Grit by Angela Duckworth. This, I really liked the book, but it was just taking more out of me to read it than I was ready to give. It is a book about what does your grit determine about you, and your grit is kind of like your endurance, your eagerness, what you're showing up, so to speak. And I liked that because that's something I really need to channel as a business owner, to really keep my motivation and to keep just that grit to keep going, and knowing that it's not just about, you know, if you're smart enough and things like that. It can just be a matter of your grit. So I liked that, and I liked the book, but it's heavy duty, lots of examples, lots of things in it. And so I read about half of it, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna have to put it on hold again and save this other half for another time. I'm pretty sure I first heard about this book on the Glambition radio podcast. That's when Allie Brown, she interviews women in business who are, you know, at least 6 figures plus, and I always learn a lot of things from that. The other book that I DNF'd was Starsight by Sanderson. I don't anticipate this being a permanent DNF. So I read the first book, Skyward, and I loved it. That was on my last reading wrap up. So I wanted to get to this next book right away, and I just could not get into it. I really missed the camaraderie between Spencer and, you know, her flight crew. You still have Mbot and, you know, a lot of fun potential characters, but I was just not in a place where I was reading that and Grit at the same time, and Grit I was finding heavy, and this just wasn't interesting me, so I just wasn't wanting to read, and that's a problem for me. So I said, I think I just need to like put everything away and start over. The other book I had at the same time was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and this I did finish. So I hear a lot about Christina Lauren on Bookables, on the channel Haley and Bookland. They all love Christina Lauren's books. So I had one on my list for this year that I knew I wanted to at least read one, and this was it. At first, I was still in that reading slump, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to overcome this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read this book, but I did. So this book is about enemies to lovers. So, oh my gosh, Olive, that's her name. It's about a girl named Olive, and she cannot stand her twin sisters. Okay, follow me. Her twin sister's husband's brother hates him. I believe his name is Ethan, and she can't stand him. Her twin sister and husband and basically everybody at the wedding get really sick, and so they can't go on their honeymoon. So then Olive and Ethan end up going on it, and you know, it's not a spoiler to say they end up falling for each other, because this is a romance novel. We know that that's gonna happen, but what we don't know is some of the twists and turns that happen on the way, and how their relationship maybe could affect some other relationships. And it was really good. I understand why people like the writing team, Christina Lauren, so much, and I would definitely read them again. I enjoyed Honeymooners, or Unhoneymooners, and what a pretty cover, you know, what a pretty cover. Next was, let's see, consulting the Kindle, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So you know I read Six of Crows, and then I realized that it wasn't just one Grisha series, there was another one. So then I wanted to start this one too. And I liked this better than Six of Crows, but I feel like the comparisons are just that they're part of the same universe. I don't really feel they're comparable books, so I don't feel it's fair when I say, oh, I like this one better than that one, because they're very different. But Shadow and Bone, rather, you know, it's Six of Crows, you're focused on a team of people. This really follows one girl, Alina, and her discovering that she has kind of like a suppressed magic power, and magic is very complicated in the world she lives in, and you learn how the potential impact it could have and the impact that it does have. So it's fun if you like magic, young adult novels, and romance. It's all in there. And the Darkling is a really cool character who I felt offered a really nice edge to this book. So I know the Nerdy Narrative mentioned loving the Darkling too, so I'm with you, girl. I'm wondering what she pictured him looking like. I kind of pictured him looking like a dark Robert Pattinson, and I think that's why I liked him so much. Another book that I DNF'd this month, like I said, I've never done this so much before, was Badass Habits by Jen Cincero. Now, I love all of her other, not all of her other books, okay? I love You Are a Badass, and I love You Are a Badass at Making Money. But the following books, I have just not related to as much or jived with as much. I found the format of the first two books has not been the same as the others, and they just don't give me that inspirational boost that I'm looking for when I go to a book. So instead, I started reading You Can Create an Exceptional Life by Louise Hay and Cheryl Richardson. This is something I've read before. It's a really short book. I have about an hour reading time left of it. That's what the Kindle says. Sorry, I keep getting like blurry every now and then. There we go. So I may finish this before the month is over, but that's a book where they really get into affirmations, the time of day they use them, how your mindset can affect your life and how you live, and all of that jazz. So if you like the law of attraction, or you want to explore the power of your mindset, I definitely recommend You Can Create an Exceptional Life. Every now and then, Hay House Publishers will do an ebook discount on Louise Hay's books, and that was when I had purchased this one. So it's a reread for me, but it's always beneficial to read. The next book I read, which I can show you the cover for here on my Kindle, if you can believe it, because I purchased it. But where did it go? Here we go. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? It's Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Princess Leia. You know I love Star Wars books, or if you don't, you know now. And this one had been on my watch list on Amazon for a while because I could not get it through my library. And the ebook went on sale. So when it went on sale, if a Star Wars ebook or an ebook that's been on my list goes on sale for under $2.99, I'm gonna grab it. So this is the one I got. By the way, get ready for May 4th, because last May 4th, Disney Publishing, Disney Books released the Queen's Shadow Star Wars ebook for free. They've done it with the Frozen ebook, Conceal Don't Feel. So I'm thinking May 4th, they may do one again this year. So be on the lookout for that. This is Princess Leia before A New Hope. Her parents are in this. You're on Alderaan and you're learning what Leia's life is as a princess coming of age in Alderaan. And you do get General Tarkin's in it. All these great characters. You still get little Easter eggs and nods to classic characters, but mentions of some new ones as well. This was fun. It took a little while for me to get into the plot. This was another one I was trying when I was just constantly DNFing books, but I stuck with it and I was glad I did, because I just enjoyed it more as the plot thickens, so to speak. Because in this story, Leia ends up kind of really getting what her political instincts are and proving to her parents that she's ready to handle it. Also, what really distracted me about this book is that Jimmy Smits was cast as Leia's father. And so now we have these books and we have to picture freaking Jimmy Smits as I still don't get why they did that. It just seems so random. Like you're casting a Star Wars movie. You know, it was just random to me. What can I say? What can I say? But this was a good book. I mean, as far as my Star Wars books go, it's not gonna be top 5, that's for sure. But it was nice. And it was something I think if you like reading young adult books and you have a base knowledge of Star Wars, then this would be something that you would like. And I say that because some people with just a base knowledge of Star Wars really are interested in the books, but they maybe feel intimidated or overwhelmed. Don't. This was an easy read. You don't really need that much prior knowledge other than what you would know who Princess Leia is, and that this takes place in a galaxy with a lot of planets. It is relevant to know that General Tarkin, that she says, I could smell your stench when you got on board, or whatever it is she says to him. That is fun, because then you can kind of learn in this book where a lot of her extra disdain comes from. But you don't need to know. You don't need to know. Just like I don't need to keep carrying on about it. Let me tell you what else I'm reading right now. All right, so we have the You Can Create an Exceptional Life, and I've been going back and forth. This was another Disney ebook I got for like $2.99, and it is Poor Unfortunate Soul. Is that, yep, Poor Unfortunate Soul with Ursula, focused on Ursula, and I only have an hour and 20 minutes predicted left. I cannot. I think this is going to be something where, like, in between books, I'll just try to read a few more minutes of it just so I can eventually get it done and get it on my Goodreads count. But I don't get it. And then it's like, it's hard to even tell, when is she an octopus, when isn't she? It's about Ursula. You get a bit more of her backstory with Triton, but not how you'd picture. It's brief, I find. And then this particular series of novels involves these 3 witches, kind of similar to like the ones you see in Hercules, the 3 ladies with the eye, but they're not them. And how they have interfered with these Disney villains, but it just wasn't fitting for me. And I'm just not grasping a plot, but it could be because of how I've read it, which has been in and out. But it's not holding my attention, and that's why. Let me know. I know some of you have read these books. I liked the one with the evil queen, so let me know what you thought of this one with Ursula, and maybe if I should just start over and save it for another time, or if you were feeling a disconnect as well. So I'm ready to do a fresh start for April, because the only one other than Ursula that I have going on is that you can create an exceptional life, and that's almost finished. So I'm excited to start a new month with new books. I do have a free pass for Kindle Unlimited right now, but I was really disappointed to see that there wasn't that much of stuff that I already had on my lists on there. So I don't think I'll be renewing it after the 2 months, but if you know anything you think I should be renting from Kindle Unlimited, let me know. Right now, I think I'm gonna rent The Hobbit, because I won't have to worry about that 2-week time frame like I would if I rented it from the library. Having it on Kindle Unlimited for at least 2 months gives me time to read it without feeling pressure. I hope you had a better reading month than I did, but all in all, if you're keeping count, that was 4 books completed, so we're still on track for our goal of 52 books this year. Thank you for watching, and I have a whole playlist, Wrestling with Books, if you want to see more of the book content I've had on this channel. Otherwise, I will see you next month when we do the April reading wrap-up. Bye-bye.